Welcome back to this channel. It's Aqua FX here again. So today I'll be taking you on how you can trade liquidity grab. How you can trade liquidity grab the best way, and the zones you are to check before you take your trade. It's not all liquidity that you take, and I'm going to show you the type of liquidity you are to look for, from the bigger time frame for the smaller time frame for the entry. Whatever you are doing, you should frame your trade from the bigger time frame. It's going to give you a bigger RR. So liquidity is what engineer the market. So liquidity in this market is what we are going to mark out. Once we mark out our liquidity, we look for those zones that we know once the liquidity get liquidated, it must surely meet up to that zone. Then we mark it out, and then we move down to our smaller time frame. We wait for our entry criteria for us to take the trade to the downside. We don't trade 1:2 here. We don't trade 1:3 here. We trade something from 1:10, 1:15, 1:20. This is to say, if you're able to catch one trade in a week, you are okay to go. So we trade from Tuesday till Thursday. And if you want to learn the way I trade personally, you can add me up or contact me through my Telegram group, which the link is on the description below. Or if you want to join my VIP group, which is my signal group, you can as well contact me through my Telegram link through the description below. Or you want to join my free channel or ask questions, join my Telegram, ask questions. If you want to support my work, you can do that. So let's get straight to the chat. Let me show you how you can trade the liquidity and the best liquidity for you to look into whenever you come to this market. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight to the chart. So right now I'm on GBPUSD chart H4. So before we do anything, we have to look out for the trend of the market. So our trend of this market now is bullish. Even if you can see the moving average here is supporting the market, so the trend is bullish. So the only thing we are going to be looking at is for us to wait to check the liquidity. So at this point, my mic was off, so I have to start doing voice recording. So we have to check to mark the trend. So at this point, we mark the trend of this market. We're marking the trend of the market. So we can see that this market right now is bullish. So the only thing we're doing so as to make sure that we mark and check the liquidity around this market before we can do anything. So we mark the high. You can see that this market breaks that high to the upside, which this tells you that the market is bullish. Then that is the zone that lead to the break of this market to the upside. But if you are to take a trade the way they normally take a trade, that zone will get liquidated, and the market will use that zone as our liquidity. Then it has to still come back to the second zone below. You see that the market was trying to break this structure to the upside, but it failed. It only wicks it out, only wicks the structure to the upside, but it didn't break it, thereby coming back and grab the low. It come back and grab the low because the market makers knows that is the zone that every other person are putting their stop loss on upon them trying to take the trade to the upside. But it grabbed the low and used that low as liquidity. Then it will come back to this very low below. Yes, it comes back to that very low. On that low, you are to mark your 5 minutes chart that is in that low. So once the market come into this low, you are to move to your 5 minutes. You move down to your 5 minutes, you mark the last OB on your 5 minutes. That will be your entry. Once you mark it, you wait for opposite candle to appear in that zone. Note the candle has to close inside the 5 minutes OB. So once another candle open, if you are to buy, you have to wait for a bullish candle to open, or you look for a shift, a break and a shift in market structure for you to take a trade. So upon the market retesting the 5 minutes OB, you are to take your trade to the upside. So let's go. Let me show you guys how you can do this thing, what you can look for. Let's use the tool to mark the structure first, then you go to the chart and complete the other stuff. So for a buy scenario, you are looking for something like this, a break of market structure to the upside, meaning you look for a higher high and higher lows in the market. So once the market breaks structure to the upside, you have to wait for the market to come back and take out this zone. You see, this market breaks structure to the upside, and the market will come back and take out this zone that breaks the structure recently to the upside. It will grab it because this zone becomes the liquidity itself, and this other zone becomes our entry criteria. And this is where you look for a shift in market structure on your 5 minutes to take the market to the upside, or you look for a opposite candle according to the trend of that market. Since the market is bullish, you have to look on your 5 minute OB. Once the market came into the 5 minutes, it had to close inside the 5 minute OB. Once it close inside and it gives you an opposite candle, which is on the direction of the bigger time frame, which is your 4-hour chart, then if the 4-hour was bullish, you are to take a bullish candle trade. Then you target your 1 to 15 or 1 to 20. This is a currency pair. It depends on you. So our bearish trend is breaking structure to the downside. So this recent break of structure has to become our liquidity. Thereby the market has to tap into that phase zone then before we can sell down. So this is to say that the market break structure to the downside, thereby coming back and take out that structure to the upside, thereby tapping into the other one above for our entry. Then we take our trade in that zone and we sell it down to the downside. But so you see that zone, the market was breaking that zone to the downside. Then this very zone becomes a liquidity, which the market comes back and grab that liquidity right there, because people will put their stop losses right there for them to sell market back to the downside. But the market comes back and take the market to the other zone, thereby selling them down to the upside. Guys, bear with me, this is a voice cover. This is because I didn't know that my mic was off. So this is it for this scenario. Let us go to the normal chart. Let me show you guys how you can do it step by step. And secondly, this kind of entry criteria gives you a bigger RR. This is because the market was able to take out a lot of people's stop losses, then tap into this zone, and it's going to run massively. So I'm going to the main chart now to make sure that I put everything in order. The first scenario, which is the buy setup, down to the second scenario, which will be the sell setup. So let us do everything here. So the market was breaking structure to the upside. That was the recent zone that breaks structure to the upside. So this recent zone now has to be our liquidity. And the zone was trying to break structure again to the upside, thereby it couldn't, it only wick out. Then it has to come back and grab the recent zone, which lead to break of structure to the upside. This zone now becomes our liquidity. So this market has to come and tap in to this other zone. So you have to scale it down to your 5 minutes and use the last bearish candle on your 5 minutes and take this trade, because once the market come into your 5 minute OB, you have to look for opposite candle. Since this is a buy trade, you have to look for a bullish candle to come out of this zone for you to place your trade right here and take your entry to the upside. So we could not access the 5 minutes here. We have to move to M15 for us to do the same thing using our 15 minutes chart. So we could not access our 5 minutes based on trading view. I'm not using the paid version. So we move down to our 15 minutes. You can see the bearish candle that come into this market, and then by giving us an opposite candle. So this is where we place our trade. So we pick our buy tool, our long tool, we place it at the opposite, which is the bullish candle now. So we place our trade at the bullish candle. Then this is how we buy this market to the upside. So our target will be 1 to 10, 1 to 15, 1:20. The market may move 1 to 40, 1 to 50, but since this is a currency pair, you can only go 1:20. You can see this market was able to even move 1:30, 1:40. But we just have to take what the market gives us and we let the remaining one rest for others. We don't have to be greedy. So this is to say, if you were risking $5 here, you've been able to take. So this is to say, if you are risking $5 here times 20, 510 is 50, times 20 is 100. So your $5 will make you $100. So right here, I'm still using GBPUSD. The sell side is what we are going to be talking about now, and how you can do this step by step. So first, we should note the trend of the market. So let us mark out our trend. I pick my path tool. I can see that the trend of this market is bearish. The market is bearish, breaking to the downside. You can see this market is breaking to the downside. So since the trend of the market is bearish, all we have to do is for us to mark the recent structure and then try to know where our entry is. So you can see I've just marked my structure right there. Then the recent structure that lead to that break of structure to the downside is this very one here. And you can see what happened. The market came back and took out that zone. The market come back and grab this zone right here. Thereby, it tapped into this very one here. It tapped into this one here. You get? The market tapped into this one and then it rallies back down. If that you've gone to your 5 minutes chart at this point, you will see an opposite candle that comes out from this zone for you to possibly take your trade to the downside. And this may give you 1 to 15, 1 to 12, 1:10, 1:15, 1:20, or 1:30 RR, because here is H4, and upon you placing a trade on H4, the little move that happened on your 5 minutes is a massive profit for you. It's a massive RRO. So upon you placing your trade, you target your 1 to 20 or 1:30. You should go to your 5 minutes or 3 minutes to do this. This is a currency pair, so you can target 1:15 or 1:20 and you leave the market. That doesn't mean the market cannot rally more than that. It can rally. So you've seen what I've done right here. You've seen what I've gotten right here. So this is to say that this market was like this. It was bearish. The market was bearish to the downside. This break structure and then also came back, and then it also came back and break structure again. So this is to say, instead of me to take my entry at this point, I allow this very zone to be my liquidity. Then I place my entry at this very zone. I mark this zone 5 minutes candle at this very zone. So upon the market tapping into this zone, I had to take my trade down to the downside. So this is how you can frame your work. You go to your 5 minutes chart, you look for opposite candle. Once this market come into that your 5 minutes OB, you look for an opposite candle and you take this trade down to the downside. So this is all you can do. It's not too hard, but you have to make sure that you train your eye to be able to see when this happen in this market. So this is what I say. Let me show it to you guys. So do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on notification bell, comment and share. If you want to learn the way I trade personally, there's link to my Telegram group down below. You add me up and contact me through my Telegram group. If you want to join my VIP group, which is my signal group, it's just $20 monthly in 2 months. Yeah, just 20 months in 2 months interval. So you can just join my VIP group. It's not costly. And this is where we trade. We got a lot of pips. We trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is for take profit. That is to say, if you've done something well, do something better throughout the week. At the end of the week, which is Friday, you have to pay yourself as a forex trader. So if you want to learn the way I trade personally, you can contact me through my Telegram channel. And also you can learn through the free videos, which I tried my best to make sure I drop on this channel for you guys. So this is Aqua FX as I sign out. Peace.